This topic is writing algebraic expressions for the area of a figure. Our first problem, the following figure is a rectangle made up of two smaller rectangles. Part A says find the area of the following. The dark rectangle on the top. The dark rectangle on the top is a 2 by 9 rectangle, and 2 times 9 is 18. We don't know what its units are. It just says square units, so I'm just going to call that U squared, square units. The light rectangle on the bottom is a 9 by x, so it is 9 by x, or 9x square units. Anytime you have a variable like this, we don't know what that variable is without giving us more information. If we knew the area of the whole shape, or even of either part of the shape, or the second part of the shape, we could solve for x. But right now we cannot solve for x, so we just leave it as 9x square units. Part B says give the area of the entire figures as a sum of two areas. Well, the sum of the two areas would be 18 plus 9x square units. I'm going to go ahead and write this out. I probably shouldn't have left this as u squared because we had a variable right here. Generally, if you have a variable, you don't want to put u even though u stood for units, just because it makes it look like it's another variable there. So that first part says give the area as the sum of two areas. And that's why we just added 18 plus the 9x, because we had already split our figure into the sum of two areas. But the next part says as a product of the length and the width. And if we look at the rectangle, the length is 9. The width, though, is this 2 plus this x. So if we were to multiply that, the length is 9, but the width is 2 plus the x. So I'm going to have to put that in parentheses, 2 plus the x. And then our answer will again be square units. And I can prove to you that this part and this part are the same thing by distributing this 9. Because if we distribute the 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and the 9 times x is 9x. So either way, we are getting the same value for our area. Here's another one. First part of part A says find the area of the light rectangle on the top. That would be 4 times x, and we'll have that as square units. The dark rectangle on the bottom is a 4 by 7, so that would be 4 times 7, which is 28 square units. Part B says give it in two different ways. First way is the sum of the two areas. Well, we already have the two areas. The first one was 4 times x, or 4x. And the second one was 28. It says the sum, so we're just going to add those. And this will be square units. And the second one says the product of the length and the width. We have the width is 4. The length, though, is x plus the 7. So I need to put that in parentheses, x plus 7. This will again be square units. I can double check to make sure these have the same value. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 7 is 28. So we've confirmed that our two answers are correct. Here's one more example. Find the area in square units again of the light rectangle on the left. That is a 7 by x rectangle, so 7 by x, or 7x square units. And the dark rectangle is a 7 by 6, or 42 square units. Same thing as before. The first way is the sum. The sum would be the 7x plus the 42. And we would have square units for our unit. And the second way is the product. Our length is x plus 6. And our width is 7. So we're going to need to multiply all that by 7. That gives us, again, square units. And we can rewrite this a different way. It looks a little bit weird to have the 7 after it. I'm going to do this up top here. If we put the 7 in the front, 7 times x plus 6, that's normally how we would write this. So we can distribute the 7 to the x. 7 times x is 7x. Distribute the 7 to the 6. 7 times 6 is 42. We are adding them. So we have confirmed that our answer for both parts is 7x plus 42 square units, but we can write them in two different ways.